This is a clip from one of our most recent episodes. For full episodes and more, please check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Stitcher, and YourVibesPodcast.com. This episode is brought to you by Sassy Pop Boutique. Sassy Pop is a women's clothing and accessory boutique located inside Mulberry Mill in Dixon, Tennessee. Sassy Pop's fashion professionals help their clients find the right style and fit for all body types and sizes. Whether you are an extra small or a 3XL, Sassy Pop Boutique will have you looking your best for all 4 seasons. Check them out on Facebook at Sassy Pop Boutique and on Instagram at Sassy Pop Boutique Dixon. Or browse their website for 24-hour shopping and shipping anywhere in the United States at sassypopboutique.com. Well, I think you're absolutely right, and that's a really neat topic that a lot of people don't take the time to dive into as far as these earth bodies. I'm of firm belief that we are spiritual beings having a human experience.
Absolutely.
The only thing... our bodies are literal meat suits. You know,
that's what we are. We're wearing around these
vehicles
beautiful
for the soul.
Suits that I believe we picked out way before we came here. We wear many throughout time. This is not the same suit I had on 25 years ago, even 5 years ago. You know.
Yeah. If you believe in reincarnation, you've got to believe in preincarnation. You know, this is a very cyclical process. That is a process, with lessons that are meant to be learned. Man, we could get so deep on this.
We could, because I think we came here with a very loosely written script that we wrote before we came. Very loose, a lot of ad libs. People come and go. We don't really know who's going to come into our life necessarily.
Absolutely. I think that there's some boxes that in order to ascend from a third or fourth dimension into the 5th, 6th, and 7th, or whatever it may be, that there are lessons that must be learned. I don't know if you'd follow the work of Dolores Cannon at all, but she says that she's not necessarily a medium. She was, I think, a podiatrist, not a podiatrist, that's a foot doctor, but like a Reiki healer. And so some of her clients were mediums for spiritual entities. And so people that had this unique capability to be a medium started hearing about Dolores, and so they started pouring to her. So when she would do her sessions, the medium would come through because they would be in such a relaxed state. And so there was these constant messages from all these higher dimensional beings. And the most constant message was that our main goal here on, she calls it a teaching planet. Earth is a teaching planet, and apparently one of the hardest in all of the universe. Like our human experience here is one of the hardest across the vast universe.
Ooh, that means if we're here that we've graduated from all the others.
Yes, we have. Yeah. Exactly right. But we still have some really hard lessons to learn. But that the main message that was portrayed through these mediums was that our sole purpose on Earth is to figure out how to manipulate and manifest energy or our desires. So in order to turn this law of attraction, which is the first step in the whole process, it's actually the least important step because it's so automated. Everybody desires. Everybody has wants. Everybody, has these things that they want to experience in their lives. Everybody does that. What everybody doesn't do is allow it into their life. They're not in the receiving mode.
Receive, yeah.
As Abraham Hicks would say.
I'm a big Abraham fan.
Gosh, she's so great.
That changed my life.
Mine too, 100%.
It began with Wayne Dyer because when you're a Jehovah's Witness,
great.
You're not really, and I'm not knocking witnesses at all.
Sure.
You're not allowed to read or explore any outside information. So Wayne Dyer is one of those gray areas. So I was obsessed with Wayne Dyer. And then when I left the religion, I started exploring more, and I accidentally ran into Abraham through a book at the antique mall that was called, what is the name of it? It's one of the first ones, Abraham. What is that one? But anyway, I thought it was about Abraham in the Bible.
Yes.
And I laid it on the counter, and this couple comes in and goes, "Oh, you know Abraham?" I'm like, "Yeah, I know Abraham. What do you mean?" "No, that Abraham. Have you read this book?
It is given.
Ask and it is given."
Yeah,
I thought it was literally about and it was so outside of anything that I was ever taught, but I had finally learned to open my heart and mind to new things, and it blew my mind that I had to put it down. But then I became obsessed, and I don't go a day without listening to Abraham.
I don't either.
Daily.
I open up my YouTube, and she's always
Yeah.
a suggested video, and I just take it as a sign from the universe that that's the video I'm supposed to
Absolutely.
listen to.
And
Whether it's
Louise
the
Hay.
YouTube algorithms or not. She's always got such a consistent message.
Yeah.
Too. People always question whether it's real or not. I'm like, dedicate yourself to listen to at least 1 or 2 videos a day until you kind of get the feel of what's going on. So her name, for those that are listening, her real name's Esther Hicks.
Yep.
And her husband, who unfortunately died of cancer, was Jerry. And so, from what I remember, she first started having these experiences when she read the Seth Speaks books.
Seth Speaks, and my dad, who was not a witness, had that book, and my mom didn't allow that stuff in the house or whatever, but I was always very curious about it. And so one of the first things I did when I could is I found Seth Speaks, which blew my mind.
It's so awesome. I've got it
Before
too.
I actually discovered that before Abraham, because I remember my dad having that book.
Okay.
And if you ever seen any of those videos, they're kind of mind blowing.
Yeah.
It's kind of almost borderline creepy when you first get into it.
Creepy,
but
yeah.
Abraham is more like makes sense. It made sense to me. Mm-hmm. It called to me, spoke to me, and it literally changed. It took a minute for me to get rid of all the beliefs that I grew up on that I still, respect. And I'm, like I said, I'm thankful. I still believe some of it. I just think you all have to have your own belief system and what feels right, what sounds right. Anytime you're questioning something, open your mind, look it up, be open to,
Always
other
reach.
faiths and other expressions of people's beliefs, because you're missing out even if you don't agree with it. It's just so interesting to see what makes people tick and why they believe the way that they believe.
Well, if you close your heart off, you're not allowing yourself the right to be surprised by life. You never ever know what's going to resonate with you and your soul, and that all ties back into what is in essence a soul contract of sorts, this loosely based deal of, okay, and I could get into some weird details as far as kind of how deep that goes, but, it's kind of agreed upon between you and the Galactic Council and a god and other higher dimensional entities that you've been spending your time with in these different dimensional realms, and allegedly, we choose to come to Earth. Like, it's our choice to come here because we know we have to. Yeah?
Yeah, I believe that God is exploring this planet through our eyes. I think we're a spark of Him. I'm using my words carefully here. I think you and I are on the same page.
Absolutely, yeah.
But I do believe He's seeing things through our eyes, experiencing things through our eyes, and what an honor that is if you put your mind around that.
Well, then you get into Alan Watts at that point.
Oh, that's my man. I'm going to marry him in the next life.
He's just such a...
He's going to be my husband in the next round.
Well...
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
he blows my mind.
Maybe we can, maybe we can have a sister wives kind of relationships too. I'll hang out with him as well. But what does he say is that what you are experiencing eternally is what the universe is experiencing at the exact same time.
We are the universe in motion.
That's it. Absolutely. Period.
We are here to live life. We overcome. I do. I'm terrible at it. I overthink, I overcomplicate things, but I try to chill and lay back and, okay, let's just be, just let it go. Just be, let whatever happen is supposed to happen. Don't overthink. Don't try to think so much about tomorrow, because hell, the way things are now, we don't know if we're going to be here tomorrow anymore.
Absolutely.
Everything is so crazy right now. I've never seen things like it is, and I try to be, I'm not passive about it, but I try not to give it too much energy.
Sure.
But the fact is, when you go to 3 funerals in one day,
Sure.
you got to wake up and smell the roses, man. There's something going down.
Sure.
I mean, it's just crazy. So I just send out love and prayers, and for those that have lost loved ones. We had yesterday buried a cousin. While we're burying that cousin, another cousin died. They took him off of the ventilator. So it's just like everybody's going through this stuff. Maybe we came here and said, this is the day I'm going to go. I don't know. I just know there's a lot of people hurting right now. And I know we're eternal. I know that with all my heart and soul. Maybe that, that thought can give some people some hope. To know this isn't the end of it all, but man, we're still human. We're strapped here by time. So, until we go, we're going to hurt and feel the pain of all this.
And that's the whole point of this teaching planet. There was a quote by a Persian kind of ruler or theologian of sorts named Rumi. He said, "This place is a dream. Only sleepers believe it's real. Then death comes like dawn, and you wake up laughing at what you thought was your grief."
Oh, isn't that
it gives me chills every time
profound?
I say it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it's just like, in all
see
honesty,
the hair on my
I mean, it's just like to put it into perspective. It's like taking off a pair of VR goggles almost. It's like you're just so inept in this experience of what is only energy, frequency, and vibration. That's fucking it. I mean, if you want to break down what everything is energy vibrating at a specific frequency, and it's all in how you perceive it, and that's where this, your mind and your thoughts create your reality kind of thing. And so, as soon as you start to think about things differently, you start to live your life differently. Things around you start changing, and we are at a time, it's like you said, it's as crazy as it is. Well, we're coming up pretty close on that 25,000 year cycle of these earth changes as well, too. So kind of what I'm seeing is just this huge split, in timelines almost, in timelines of what one person believes and what the other person believes. And then there's this, and it comes down to two things. It comes down to love, and it comes down to hate. It comes down to giving into lower vibrational feelings, eating it up, taking it in, consuming yourself in greed and jealousy and gluttony and envy and grudges, and you're wrong and I'm right and you're stupid and I'm smart. Like, it's all coming down to. But then there's those that, want to speak their own truth and love and accept everybody for who they are, and are starting to ascend into what now, for the majority. And I
think that number is growing. I think there's 100%, more of
100%.
Us than there are of them. I think some people are, you have love, hate, and indifference. I think some people are afraid or, but once you be who you become who you really are meant to be and find that human part, that comes out when a disaster happens, that part, and so many people come out of the woodwork, that number, it's growing. It is. And I just think eventually, yes, there will be a shift. Huge there already shift. Is a shift happening. And I just think, the law of attraction is a lot of the reason this plague has hit the entire planet.
I
Fear,
completely agree.
It's just a snowball effect. Which is why I try. To keep it over there. It's a very real, and I pray, and whoever you pray to, I believe in the power of prayer and positive energy. I wrote about it this morning. To make a change.
It is real. I mean, it's measurably real, to say the least. I mean, Dr. Emoto did...
Oh, my God. I was fixing to say to Dr. Emoto, like, that blew me out of the water, literally.
Sure.
Quote, unquote. I mean, I don't take a shower now that I don't think,
Absolutely.
I'm like, now y'all are all going to think, now y'all are going to know how nutty I really am. I'm literally, like, I bless the water, like, when... I drink, even if it's, there's water in this, we're water, I mean, that is just like the most of everything I've ever learned in my life. I think his messages in the water, that's one thing anybody can get into, because I mean, it's just so, no matter what you believe, it's
none of it's
right
heebie-jeebie
there.
stuff.
It's a camera and a freezer.
Yep.
And some music.
Yep.
And some vibes.
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Mind blowing.
And for those of y'all, just real quick, that don't know what we're talking about, is Dr. Emoto, I guess it was back in the mid-90s or so, did a study on water and made different glasses of water and gave them different impressions. Those, hate, or he would say words like, I hate you, or you're stupid. And then he would project different vibes on other waters, like love and compassion.
But you got to feel it, and you got to mean it.
Feel it. Yeah, you can't just say that, but you've got to really, really vibe with it. And play music as well too. And then he would freeze the water, and the crystalline structures of the water were night and day difference between the lower vibe feelings and the higher vibe feelings. And then you exacerbate that into your body, and how much it's made up of water. And if you have those feelings, the water structure that makes up your body is doing the exact same thing.
Absolutely.
So if you hate yourself, you're going to
you are going to get some cancer. I'm going to tell you that you are.
Right.
And let me tell you how many times I had it before I realized all this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it's amazing what we do to our bodies with our own thoughts, whether they be hate, love, whatever.
Thanks again to Sassy Pop Boutique for sponsoring this episode. If you are looking for the right fit and style for this upcoming season, feel free to reach out to their fashion professionals on their socials at Sassy Pop Boutique on Facebook and Sassy Pop Boutique Dixon on Instagram, or head on over to their website at sassypopboutique.com for 24-hour shopping and nationwide shipping. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode, please reach out to me directly via email at yourvibespodcast@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and always remember, stay vibey, my friends.